بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا أما بعد. Chapter number 41, Nawawi rahimahullah ta'ala says, Babu tahrim al-uquq wa qati'ati rahim, is the exact opposite of chapter 40. The exact opposite, the mirror effect, is the impermissibility of al-uquq and the impermissibility of qati'at al-rahim. So chapter 41 was regarding birrul walidain and silatul arham, kind and fine treatment of one's parents and keeping family ties. Chapter 41 is the exact opposite, nothing different but just inverting it. Just as the Quran and Sunnah tell you what you are to do with your parents, for your parents, your brothers, your sisters, your aunts and your uncles, etc., the Quran and Sunnah also warns us and threatens us and instills in us fear with regards to what we shouldn't be doing with or to our parents, and cutting off the relationships with our kin, our family member. In the Quran and Sunnah, whenever we wish to find guidance regarding any type of deed or statement or act or practice, is always going to be targhib and is always going to be tarhib. Either we have a text that is inspiring us, encouraging us, inciting us, telling us about the reward of a deed, the beautiful bounty of a deed, the excellence of a deed. Or we'll find a tarhib in which we are being pushed away from a deed, and we're being threatened and warned and intimidated from coming close to an act or a practice or a statement or a deed. So inspiring and encouraging, and also warning. So if you had to give a last talk, or just you were a talk period to your players in the final game of the series, game 7, whatever the sport may be, cricket, baseball, football, hockey, even if it's a sport that doesn't have 7-game series, this is the last game. You win or you go home. So obviously the coach is going to talk to his team before the game, and then the coach is going to talk to his team right before they start the game. He's going to talk to them when they suit up in the locker room. He's going to talk to them before they go out to play. He's going to talk to them during halftime or in between the break. And he's also going to talk to them when the game is on the line, when he makes a timeout, or the quarterback is going to make a huddle. So obviously, if the game is tied and there's a little bit of time left, it's not the same way he's going to talk to them in the beginning of the game or in the middle of the period. It's a difference. So the smart coach and the wise coach, or the leader, the point guard, the quarterback, the captain, soccer, whatever sport it is, sometimes, or he's going to know when to instill in the players, his teammates or his players, fear, and shake them up. You guys want to lose? Do you know how long the bus ride back home is going to be if we lose? Do you know how humiliated you're going to be and how you're going to feel? Do you know how your enemies are going to throw it in your face? The opponents, they're going to have a parade. They're going to make fun of us. They're going. Do you know how many people are going to lose their jobs? Do you know what's going to happen if we go home and we're losers? Do you know how you're going to feel? You're going to have all the pain, the bumps, the bruises, and you're going to be losers. This will instill in them fear if you turn over the ball or make a mistake. Or he may say, let me encourage them and let me give them a sense of something to look forward to. Do you know what it's going to feel like if we win? We're going to be world champions. We may not ever have a successful season again, ever. You may break your leg, you may lose your career, but no one is going to take from you that you are a world champion during this year. The ring, the trophy, your name will be eternal in the annals of this sport, period. The champions of 2019, bottom line. So no matter how tired you are, how exhausted you are, how injured you are, 2 more minutes is all I need from you. 2 more minutes and you'll be a world champion. 2 more minutes and your name will become eternal in this sport. 2 more minutes of playing. 2 more minutes and then we'll do this and we'll do that. So no person ever sticks with one mode of talking to people, in which a person just talks about the agony of defeat and that's it. Nor is a wise coach going to always talk about the thrill of victory and the honor and the glory of victory, because they have to be warned from the opposite. So this is the nature of the human being. The human being needs an incentive, needs a reward, and the human being needs a warning. Both. And if you think about your life as a parent, as a husband, as a child, whatever you do is always like this. Your parents tell you, don't do this. If you do, this is going to happen to you. And your parents tell you, if you're a good boy, if you sit still, I'll do this for you. And you have to pick which of the two is more effective for you. Or maybe you might have a mixture of both. And oftentimes we know that everyone is different. It doesn't work like that. Sometimes the reward of avoiding a haram act isn't enough to inhibit you from it. And sometimes you have to sit back and think about the punishment. Or you may have to sit back and think about the worldly punishment, unfortunately. The spiritual punishment may not be enough to hold you back, but the worldly punishment. What happens if I get caught? How's it going to feel? If I bring shame to my family or my wife, if I die like this and this and like that. You ever think about that? You being dead, the shame and the embarrassment of your family members, how is that going to affect you? You've left this world. But the sheer thought of the pain that you're going to cause those people, it has an effect on you. Or the exact opposite. If I die in this state, how proud would they be? What type of legacy would I leave behind? What message would I send for my son? So on and so on and so forth. So chapter 40 and chapter 41 are like this. And the whole entire book of Riyadh as-Saliheen is a book of targheeb and tarheeb. It's a book that encourages you to do the right thing. And it's a book that intimidates you from doing the wrong thing. Whatever that right or wrong thing may be. With regards to you and Allah, with regards to you and yourself, with regards to you and other individuals. And that's what chapter number 41 is about. Author rahimahullah says, قال الله تعالى فهل عسيتم إن توليتم أن تفسدوا في الأرض وتقاطعوا أرحامكم أولئك الذين لعنهم الله فأصمهم وأعمى أبصارهم. وقال تعالى والذين ينقضون عهد الله من بعد ميثاقه ويقطعون ما أمر الله به أن يوصل ويفسدون في الأرض أولئك لهم اللعنة ولهم سوء الدار. وقال تعالى وقضى ربك ألا تعبدوا إلا إياه وبالوالدين إحسانا إما يبلغن عندك الكبر أحدهما أو كلاهما فلا تقل لهما أف ولا تنهرهما وقل لهما قولا كريما واخفض لهما جناح الذل من الرحمة وقل رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا. The author quotes several ayats from the Quran Kareem. The first one is from Surah Muhammad with the Fatha, never with the Kasra. Allah Azza wa Jal says, what is rendered to mean in English, فَهَلْ عَسَيْتُمْ. Allah Azza wa Jal says, indeed, if you turn your backs, and if and when you turn your backs, and tufsidu fil ard, you will make a great deal of corruption. You spoil the land. وَتُقَطِّعُوا, you will sever and cut your arham, the ties of kin, the bellies, the wombs. Allah Azza wa Jal, He says regarding these people, Allah has cursed them. فَأَصَمَّهُمْ وَعَمَى أَبْصَارُهُمْ, and He's caused them to have deafness in their ears, and He caused their eyes to be of no use to them. The punishment of turning away, of making ifsad fil ard, corruption in the land, whatever that may be, and cutting the ties of kin, disrespecting the ties of kith, Allah Azza wa Jalla will curse them, make them deaf, and make them blind. The next ayah is from Surah Ar-Ra'd. Allah Azza wa Jalla says, those who break the covenant of Allah after it was placed upon them, after it was firmly established, and they sever and they cut off what Allah Azza wa Jalla has commanded to be connected, and they commit corruption in the land, these people will have a curse on them, and they will have an evil place to dwell in. Allah Azza wa Jalla also mentions Surah Al-Isra, and your Lord has decreed and your Lord has written and ordained that you worship Him and none but Him, and that you treat your parents kindly and respectfully. If they reach old age, or at least one of them, say no word of disrespect to them. Say something which is honorable and respectful to them. Be humble, be low for them, and ask Allah to have mercy upon them in their old age as they had mercy upon you in your young age, when you couldn't do that which you needed to do. So all of these ayat here establish the severe punishment of disrespecting your parents and cutting the ties of kin. And it also shows us in the opposite, the virtue of respecting and obeying your parents and the virtue of keeping good ties of kin. As far as the hadith, the author says, وعن أبي بكرة نفيع بن الحارث رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم ألا أنبئكم بأكبر الكبائر ثلاثا قلنا بلى يا رسول الله قال الإشراك بالله وعقوق الوالدين وكان متكئا فجلس فقال ألا وقول الزور وشهادة الزور فما زال يكررها حتى قلنا ليته سكت متفق عليه. Narrated Nufay ibn al-Harith Abu Bakrata, that the Messenger of Allah says, shall I not tell you the worst of all major sins? He asked the question 3 times. The companion says, yes, O Messenger of Allah, please tell us. He says it's to associate partners with Allah in your worship, and to disrespect your parents. And as if he was sitting down and reclining, and he stood up, he got up, and he said, qawl az-zur. He says, making false testimony, forgery, lying when it comes to bearing witness and saying something that you saw and heard that you didn't see and that you didn't hear. And he kept repeating this. And this hadith is collected by Bukhari and Muslim. وعن عبد الله بن عمرو بن العاص رضي الله عنهما عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قال الكبائر الإشراك بالله وعقوق الوالدين وقتل النفس واليمين الغموس رواه البخاري. Narrated Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As رضي الله عنهما, the Prophet ﷺ says the major sins are the following acts. Number 1, the shirk with Allah, disrespect of one's parents, murder, and a false oath. A false oath. And this hadith is collected by Imam al-Bukhari. وعنه أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال من الكبائر شتم الرجل والديه قال يا رسول الله وهل يشتم الرجل والديه قال نعم يسب أبا الرجل فيسب أباه ويسب أمه فيسب أمه متفق عليه. وفي رواية أن من أكبر الكبائر أن يلعن الرجل والديه قيل يا رسول الله كيف يلعن الرجل والديه قال يسب أبا الرجل فيسب أباه ويسب أمه فيسب أمه. Also narrated by Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma, the Messenger of Allah says, from the major sins is for a man to curse his own parents. A man curses his own parents? The companions, they ask. The Messenger of Allah says, yes, it's possible. And that is done by a man cursing another man's father, and in return, in retaliation, he'll curse his father. And by a man saying something negative about another man's mother, and in return, in retaliation, they will say it about his mother. And this hadith is collected by Imam al-Bukhari and collected by Imam Muslim. And this hadith is a tremendous hadith, like all hadiths are that are authentic. And it shows you cause and effect. And it shows you that you are responsible for that which you cause, and that which you're a fruit and a reason behind. So therefore, by calling another man's mother such and such and such and such, or calling another person's father such and such and such and such, in actuality, human nature is to retaliate. Oh, I'm a this? Well, so are you. Your father's this too. And you're the son of a this. And you're that. So as if you caused harm and annoyance on your mother and your father. And who would want to do that? No one in their right mind would want to call their mother a whore, or call their father a coward, or a dishonorable man. But that's what happens when you lose your temper and you say that about someone else. And this is applicable in all aspects of life, with regards to your children, with regards to talking about an imam or a scholar. You start disrespecting someone's teacher, and your teacher is nothing. Your teacher is a piece of trash. He doesn't know anything, he's this and he's that, so on and so forth. And maybe the teacher may be nothing. Waliyadu billah. He may be, of course if he's a Muslim, no Muslim is a piece of trash. But he may not be a good teacher at all. But that person is going to immediately attack your teacher and your scholar, who may be a true teacher and a true scholar. And then what happens, you say, oh, you're disrespecting my teacher and my scholar. You're disrespecting the scholars. No, you've disrespected the scholars. By opening up the door of having a mud fight and disrespecting and attacking the honor of any Muslim unjustly. So being reckless with your words is extremely dangerous. And there's no one to blame for your mother or father's curse and disrespect except for yourself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala surely knows best. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam wa barak ala abdi wa rasulihi nabina Muhammad.